The S1 filing is a ticking time bomb. What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBit Solutions. I first want to give a huge shout out to Pascal. He's one of our Learn Plan Profit members, and he sent me this article from Seeking Alpha. So a huge shout out to Seeking Alpha as well. One of the things that we've been closely following up with is the overall performance of Nikola. And I'm not too sure if you guys have been keeping up with its overall performance, especially for the past 2 to 3 weeks, but it's just been doing a lot of consolidation. It's not really been very bullish. It's not been very bearish. It's almost been flatlining. I'm not too sure if all of you guys have been paying attention to it, especially after 2 days ago where it announced its launch, right, for its pre-order for the Badger truck. When they announced the pre-order for the Cybertruck, it was within 1 day that they openly announced the number of pre-orders, and with Nikola, supposedly they can still not disclose the number of pre-orders they got. So for whatever the case that might be, I really hope that they performed well, but it really wouldn't surprise me if they did not meet their expectation and they're just waiting till July 3rd to announce it. And why July 3rd? One of the articles that I read today is I wanted to break it down in a more simple way. The S1 filing is a ticking time bomb for long investors in Nikola. PIPE investors are planning to sell nearly all of their shares once registration for the S1 becomes effective. So what that means is a private investment in a public equity. So often viewed as a PIPE deal. So you might be asking, well, what does that mean? It's those initial investments that were first private for maybe Nikola, or an example can be like when it was viewed as VTIQ, when it wasn't publicly traded. Now that it's publicly traded, now there's public shares, right? We're talking about private shares. It's initial investments. People that originally invested into Nikola. People like Fidelity, people like BlackRock, huge corporations, right, that made initial investments are viewed as PIPE investors. And I'm going to talk about that, why that's significant. The second thing that I wanted to talk about are warrants become exercisable. What does that mean? On July 3rd, what do you mean warrants become exercisable? That's definitely something that we're going to cover. And the last thing that I want to make sure that we highlight is how many shares are going to become exercisable, right? So pretty much PIPE investors were able to get financing at $10 a share for Nikola. Think about that. $10 a share. Right now it is trading at $67.78 a share. So now asking the question, warrants become exercisable. What does that mean? It means that after July 3rd, they have the option to sell their shares that they originally got at $10 a share. And the S1 filing, 53 million were registered and were related to the PIPE financing at $10 a share, and nearly 24 million shares were related to exercise warrants for the old VTIQ shell. If you guys remember VTIQ, Nikola never actually went through the traditional route when it came down to being publicly traded. They actually just merged with VTIQ to expedite this whole process for whatever the case might be, right? So despite their stock right now being valued at $70 a share, what this means is, I want to scroll right back down here, is after July 3rd, companies and huge corporations like BlackRock and Fidelity will have the option to exercise their shares, meaning that they will have the option to then sell the shares that they bought at $10 a share. Of the 67.7 million shares held by these entities, all but 15.2 million will carry the intention to be sold. Okay, so 15.2 million will be left. Everything else has the intention to be sold. So think about this. You're a huge corporation that got in at $10 a share. When now you are given the option to sell your shares that you got at $10 to sell at $70, do you think that you're going to exercise it? This is just something that I want you to ask yourself, because out of the, like we said, 67.7 million shares, only 15.2 million plan to not sell and carry out this exercise of being able to sell their shares. So think about that. Over 50 million shares being sold at once. This is why I'm making this video, is if you're someone that was a long-term investor or had a long-term play, I wanted to make you aware of the whole S1 filing that was filed on June 15th, 2020. Why? Because it possibly could have a negative catalyst on July 3rd. And I think that for those that have a long-term play on Nikola, as long as you're made aware of the risk involved, then you can make a little bit more of an informed decision. So I wanted to leave you with that information. I'll plug the article down below so you can dedicate more time to read more about it, as you always should. But there's nothing wrong with day trading it. We've talked about it multiple times. But with a company that has shown no actual prototypes and all they've showed are renders, and there's just been so much hype, I think that we can all agree that they are overvalued. They're valued right now at $24 billion for their market cap valuation, nearly as much as Ford, yet they have nothing to prove. And now they're going to have 50 million shares of people, of PIPE investors, that are going to be able to exercise their right to sell their shares. So think about that. Do you think that that can act as a negative catalyst or a positive catalyst for Nikola? We're never here to tell you what to do. We're here to empower you to make an informed decision. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Were you guys aware that on July 3rd, 2020, that they were going to be given the option of 50 million shares to be exercised from $10? Ask yourself, would you be someone that if you were an investor and you got in at $10 a share and it's now trading above $60, would you be someone that would want to sell your share size, right? Especially with something like Nikola that seems overhyped up. Let me know down in the comment section. So I really hope that this video earned your thumbs up. Again, if you guys learned something new, it really helps out the channel. It really helps out this video. So I hope that you guys can absolutely smash that like button. Don't forget to join our free Facebook group. We have a little bit over 282,000 members, and that's going to be that second link down below. I really do appreciate you guys' time. Quick little update on the day. So I just broke a little bit above $700 profit on the day, but I still have an open position. So I'm excited to see how the day closes. So like always, guys, continue working hard, continue following your dreams. Let your passion be what drives your success. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.